I have to find something to put under this structure. Have a look at it. Double stream on? Why is there a double stream? Oh! Yeah, I forgot to put my jersey on.
Where is that?
Actually, right at me quite just finished a workout, so I didn't bother with the jersey. Well, I will get dressed now. Is Cam doing this race as well? If he is, that's awesome. Make sure you tell everybody in the chat. In fact, I'm going to go over to his now that we got a couple of minutes. I'm going to give him some hype and lead him out. Have a look. Cam is literally, Cam's stream, Cam's chat is just going, and it's like, I can't even like keep up with what I've written. Whatever I've written is just escaped to the top. We're gonna, I can see he's got a jersey on. Let me know if he says anything on his stream. Can you let me know in my chat? Like if he says anything about, you know, if I need to do something, if I wanna, whatever. So I'm just gonna, don't worry about the start pen. I can start at the back. It's fine. Hello. Put the jersey up. Yeah. Better change bikes. Right. Mignon. Large. Brilliant. We're going to go for our trusted Tron. go. Yeah. It's one advantage of having lots of lovely people to watch as well. Okay, I'll get on the start pen. Jeez. Let's join then. Start at the back, give ourselves some work to do. Charlie's doing their workout in the background.
In the hallway.
In the hallway. Because I've taken up the whole living room. Oh, what is this? What is this jersey we have to wear? It's not a nice jersey. Don't worry, Lord. I was warmed up. This is the best warm up I've ever had for a race. So, I'd watch out for you. I've literally just done an hour of a normalised power of 305, so I've done 2.5 minutes at 7 watts per kilo, 2.5 minutes rest, times 4, and 5 minutes rest, and then repeat that for two reps. So in total it's like 15 minutes at 7 watts per kilo. So, good enough warm up. I reckon. Yeah, Phil. Howdy. It's gonna get tasty, this one. And the leg snapper. Test my legs. I won't even be able to test my legs. I'll be hanging on the leg snapper. You guys know the leg snapper is not my forte. Iniesta, we're on the same team. Me and Cam. And when you count in Critch as well, we're like the dream team. All of us wearing our vests. I might do the TT race. I don't know yet because it's the Haute Route this weekend, isn't it? The 3-stage Haute Route. So yeah, I'm in a good mood, and I'm in an even better mood now that Cam is riding. I was actually going to message him to see if we could like do a race at some point this week. We might be racing this weekend as well. Well, most of us on the Wahoo team. Kim is in this race. Kim Little. He's obviously on the Wahoo team. So unfortunately, it's only 2 laps. Cam's the leader. It won't suit me this race. I can make it hard, but you know, it won't suit me. Is there anything on Zwift Power that says where everybody else is in terms of like what they're like? You know, John Mold's in this race. We've got Ethan Vernon, who's on the academy. Yeah, Phil can hold the chat together now. It's all on you, Phil. I've got a sweatband, old school. I really need it around my head, but my head's a bit too big. So I'll put it on my arm instead. Not that I need it really, because the fan is quite intense. Tons of tough guys. Good. The harder this is, the better. I really need to make up some TSS today, and you know what that means. So as hard as possible. Yes, Phil. I think as hard as possible, make it as hard as possible, or if it's hard anyway, if it's hard enough, then I don't have to make it harder. I'm here for the TSS. I'm here to see if Cam can win the second race back. So Let's do it. It's so warm right now. Ooh, Lord. You're trying. It's funny you never hear of those. Who's Mills Keeling? Why do you never hear of these people? There's Chris riding as well. This is like really how did we even... So was Ferrari the guy in first on that epic OM? Or the guy in third? Well, it was nice knowing you all. Eleven, 10, 9, 8. Oh, I got a ghost. Oh, I'm not going to bother with power-ups. Can't reach anyway. This feels so easy compared to my interval session. Yeah, it is a fast start. think I'm just going to move up really late. $180. Oh, there he is. He's right there. We're going to move up now, just before this little downhill. Don't forget as well, my heart rate is still elevated from the session just now. It's quite good this actually, because if it's fast, it means everyone has to ride hard, so you're not going to have like a free ride into this. But it's only 2 laps, isn't it? Yeah, I got a very smooth curve. It doesn't just go yeah, that's right, lad. It was actually his 30-minute and 1 hour power. Very close. 6 watts difference. Cam in this group, is he? Yeah. Let's drive it then. Keep this group away. There I come. Grupo compacto. Camera's dropped. Right, okay. Sorry, it'll come across now. I'll just sit in, let my heart rate come down. Ooh, spicier. Is he back? No. Nearly. That gap's growing there. give and go. Whew. That's hard, boys. It's hard. Here comes my Achilles heel. Whew. 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 Oh, so fun, so hard. Okay, we're gonna have to go long, aren't we? The most grimmest chance of winning is to go long. This is where the burrito comes in. Come on, this is it. Slowing down a lot. Oh. Oh. Well, I'll take that. I will take that. Thank you very much. Whew. Let's turn right now and go up a 30-minute hill. Oh. That was hard. I had a high average power, probably higher than it should have been. Whew. Who won the sprinting? Granger? No. Yeah? Yeah, great. No. Yeah. Big heart rate, about 192. Jeff has got eaten. What do you mean? That's grim, I gotta say. But loved it. As usual. I feel quite smoked now after that 1 hour session before it. So have a look at the power graph. Trademark power graph. Phil, keep watching, I'll show you how to do it. So we've done an hour and a half of riding at 309 watts normalised. That's good. Yeah, recovery's still on point, not bad is it? We work on that. Okay. I'm just gonna have a look back at this last the last bit of the chat. Just reading what you've all said basically, because when I clicked on that ghost power up, obviously everything disappeared, so use the ghost and attack now, yeah, I saw that. And get another power up in the sprint arch. Missed that bit. Cam's 300 minutes behind, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good point, but Charlie's doing a workout in the hall. She's laid out on the floor at the minute, so she's there's a few banging noises going on that last 5k. I thought it was me on the turbo. Nice to see all your encouragement in the chat when I attack. And that blob just like, yeah. You're right, the ghost is definitely not long enough because you have to use it like way before, don't you? Shmo, he's my teammate. There's no freaking thing here. Oh look, Kim. Let's give Kim some love. Let's give Moldy. No, we're not giving Moldy some love. Ah, there's some names back here. Mottram, right? Mottram. Bizarre. Let's give Cam some love. Did we say Pritch was riding? Wow, James Phillips is there. What is going on? Robbie McEwen. I'm joking. It's not Robbie McEwen. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, I'm not going to go any further. Okay. So we click OK, Phil. Then we click stay here. And then we go menu. And then end ride from here. And then you can see your graph. So obviously big effort there over the first, what do you call it, leg snapper. Recovery not really happening here, but although I do drop quite a bit, I'm able to recover from going anaerobic quite quick, I imagine. And then another huge effort here, which puts us really in the red, like 183, 184. You can see me tipping off the back. But this is really good because then I was able to hit 184 again, but also recover. So when I attacked, my heart rate was at its lowest since the top of this climb. So it obviously drops there on the descent, drops into the 170s really quick, drops halfway down the 160s, and then once you attack, it spikes really fast. The attack was really crap. Let's face it. Like it's a good peak of 982, 782 rather. I wish it was 982. And then it drops off like really quickly, so I'm obviously like feeling it from this morning and obviously yesterday's ride as well. So, but then I was able to go again-ish there, so it's quite a good recovery, I guess. I'm not overly impressed with it, but what's this? This ride. This chart is way off. It's way off. But still, it's a good. It's a hard ride, isn't it? And then what you do then is when you click OK and you come to this, you just click back, and then you're back to there again. So fairly simple. Yeah, thank you, Gus. Thank you for watching. Oh, Chris was 141st. Sorry, Chris, if I didn't go all the way down to your number. I apologise. There we go, Phil. It's as easy as that. Quentin, I'm not sure what my 20-minute parallel is there. It was pretty. Pretty high. I don't think it was over. I don't think it was over threshold. Although it might have been. It might have been. Josh, doesn't matter. The beauty of live streams is you can always go back and watch them. In fact, they're better when you go back and watch them because you can skip through them. Is your 5.7, 5.8, roughly 20 minutes? Oh, that's true. Yeah, so it would have been. Nah, it would have been just below. Just below. My threshold is 366. So it's just below. So my FTP is 6.1. 6.2. Yeah. 2 times speed. Yeah. Alright. The number one sport didn't run this again. I wish. We haven't talked about. Well, I didn't even know he was racing, so we didn't talk about it. I would be. The problem with this course, is like you saw, like anything could happen on a leg snapper. So if it kicks off the first time or even the second time, you've only got a couple of K to like regroup, and you know. Well, it actually happened at the worst time, didn't it? It happened like going through the finish banner, 1 lap to go, and that little group was just 3 or 4 seconds behind us, and he didn't get back on. So I didn't know he was riding. If I did, I don't think it would have changed anything because, like, what could I say? Like, yeah, it does usually happen naturally. I mean, I couldn't have weighted at the top because, you know, once the gap's gone, the gap's gone. well, you kind of wish that that group that your teammate is in manages to get back, so you just sit on the group that's in front. But sit on is the it's not the appropriate word really, because attack started to go then, and I had to follow an attack. So by following the attack, it drags the group, and you know, you don't want guys to get away either. So it's kind of like, what do you do? But give Cam some, you know, credit. It's only his second race back, and it's hard to gauge things, isn't it? But I'm interested. I have a glimpse he's giving me a ride on. Thanks, Chris. I think it's difficult. Zwift racing is difficult unless the route is like pan flat, which I think we're planning on doing a crit this weekend as a team. So Pritch can in effect stay with us as well, I hope. Then, you know, we hope that, oh, we're coming up on Cam now. In a bit. There he is. Oh no, we passed him. No. Oh well. If it's a flat race, you can kind of keep it together and string it out and do wattages and but you know, if you try and do like this race, it's very unpredictable. There's lots of red, obviously, according to the graph. There's lots of anaerobic work. But then there's also a lot of little spikes in between the anaerobic work. So you're almost having to recover on the aerobic baseline, and it all depends on how high that baseline is. And your baseline is basically your FTP. So if you're capable of riding above and below it and being very close to it, you can do efforts that are really far over and then still recover at a high tempo. I used to talk about that in the build up to the British Hill Climb Champs. Used to talk about that a lot, and I think, and I'll drop Phil in here, because what Phil did on the Alp on Sunday is, if you break it down, he rode like 66 minutes at 299 watts normalized, which is like, for him, it's only like 20 watts less than his threshold. In theory, it probably isn't now, probably gained again. But the first 20 minutes, he averaged something like 312 or 310 watts. So he's very close to his best ever 20 minute in the first 20 minutes. But then within that 20 minutes, he did a 5-minute effort. It was like his third best all time. But then coming off that, which is the climb up to the jungle, coming off that, there's very little recovery, as you know. It's quite sticky down there. And when you get down there and you turn on the Alp, well, it's just like 44 minutes, in Phil's case, of like basically riding at 300 watts, or like 95% of FTP. So he was able to ride at these different intensities and still get, so he was able to go anaerobic massively on the first climb up to the jungle, which is 5 minutes roughly, go massively anaerobic, and then recover at baseline or just below the threshold, and then obviously go again on the Alp. So that's kind of what you're looking for. You want it to be dynamic. You don't want it to be just like capable of riding, you know, one, like if you put erg mode on and able to ride threshold for like, I know that's great, but in reality, being dynamic is a lot more fun, and it's a lot better as well, because you're able to do things in races. You're able to recover and things like that. So, Lord, BC needs to do a properly hilly race. Yes, but there's plenty of hilly races around, so I don't need BC to rub my ego. Don't need that. I've never actually done a race where I've done a 20 watt normalised power that's higher than my best average ever. I've never done that, so I wouldn't really know. Sorry, buddy, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to read the 2 sets of 6x2. Yeah, you could do it with less rest. I'm also doing the 3-stage event this weekend, so I don't know whether my legs are going to be totally cooked. Yeah, they do only, well, I suppose they do only do sprint variation, but then that was only, that was like a 10-man sprint there, so would you call that a sprint race? A lot of sprinters weren't there. You know, a lot of the sprinters weren't there. Like, James Phillips, not there. So, alright, just give me a sec. I'm going to turn right here. I'm waiting for it to pop up on the app. Come on. Or am I going to turn right anyway? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got a team WhatsApp group. Wahoo esports team. And here's the full result. Oh, these results are wrong. My word, it's all kicking off. Quentin, it's a climber's chat. Pritch isn't even in it. I think I'm going to climb the mountain now. So did I get officially a top 10? I'm not even seeing the... Oh, my legs. I just ride about 3 watts per kilo, 2.5 to 3 watts per kilo now. Need some oil in this chain. Is anyone out riding at the minute? Is anybody still outside riding? I've got mixed feelings about it. Like, I don't want to pee people off by riding outside. But also, like, I see lots of riders still riding. Like, lots of riders I know. Like, elite riders and everyone else are all still riding outside, and I'm like, inside. I don't know whether I'm... Is there a right or wrong? Probably isn't there, but... Can I find the results, I wonder? I don't know if I'll be able to find it now. So I got a 7th. My word. I don't know if I actually... I don't know if I actually rolled... Where are we there? Result. Do some talk. Result. What time is it? 12:20. Sam, just behind Joey Walker. I'll take that. I'm going Dempster. I'm a Glinchy. I'll take that. I don't know how my 20 minutes is so high, like 5.7. There's a big drop off then to that next group. It's nearly closer to 5. And yet there's only a 10-second gap. That's quite interesting. So, any questions, class? I'm looking for 8. Looking for about 150 TSS today. So I'm going to keep riding for another 180, 32 TSS. Ah, true, yeah, I didn't think about that a lot. It is a bigger group. Yeah, it was pretty hard at the front, I have to say. How's it going? Are you still going?
Yeah. I'm halfway through my last one round.
Grim.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll see you soon, Phil. Thank you very much. Stop mentioning the Alp race. You're still like 5 days away, you're making me nervous. Oh, I'm not sure what time the Alp is on Sunday, Steve. There is one on Saturday, and I'm going to stream as well. So it's the event with that 3-day stage race that they're planning. So, you know, there could be 2 chances to catch it. So how do I go about building TSS? You take an average of last 2 block and use that as a start for the next 3 block. And you just got 25 TSS. Yeah, that's good. It's a little bit more, well, for me, what they say is 150 TSS a day is usually what elicits the change for you to progress. And that's not necessarily the case, because you obviously need a lot of time. Yeah, exactly. Not all TSS created equal. So you need a lot of time to make up 150 TSS. Like today, I've ridden 120 in an hour 47. So it's fairly intense, obviously. That's a intensity factor of 0.82. But there is, so CTL, which is basically your fitness curve on Training Peaks, or Strava even does it now. It does it everywhere really. It's long been thought, based on a lot of research and a lot of data from hundreds of athletes, that the average workload or ramp rate that a rider can handle is around 6 to 10 or 5 to 9 CTL a week. So it depends how you go about building into that. You can stretch it, you can ride every day. Obviously then it'll be less intense because you can ride every day but at a lower TSS in theory. As long as you kind of balance that ramp rate and don't overly push it, then you'll see a progression. But then you have to work. So there's three things. There's intensity, frequency and duration. Those are the three things you always think about. So first of all you think about, but that's still a good climb. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be in that range, but optimally, you know, that is where you could sit. And obviously you'll find like you'll plateau at some point. You know, like my highest CTL has kind of been around 130. When I did like the Tour of Korea and the Tour of Japan and those kind of races, it was very high. Tour of Portugal was very similar. It was a 10-day race. I got sick in the last 2 days. So that high CTL doesn't always necessarily translate to high level of fitness, at least in my case. But what I found is, like right now as we speak, my CTL is 90 and I feel really strong. But how do I perform over 3 hours with a 20-minute effort at the end? So that's the thing you have to think about. But it's all relative. But what I would say is intensity, duration, frequency, work with what you got. So use one of those first and say frequency, how many times a week can I train? Duration, how long can I actually afford to train for? Like what available time do I have? And then intensity. And using like Training Peaks and things like that, you can actually see how intense your ride will be based on the intensity factor. Now, some riders can handle more than others, so you could end up seeing, hey, thanks guys, catch you in a bit. Yeah, that's good, Quentin. That's good. That's really good. 4 and 2 is good. As especially during that time of year, as they say. So what I see is, if I look at a 2-hour ride and I see an intensity factor of 0.85, that would be really hard. So you'd have to make sure you're fresh before it. So when you look at that, you think, okay, if I need to be fresh the day before, then there's my rest day, there's my hard day. Now what can I build around that? And when you, in theory, build your hard days first, you can work backwards from the hard days. So if you want 3 really hard days a week, which I wouldn't recommend any more, because even World Tour pros, you know, they don't really train massively hard, you know, every day of the week. In fact, if you follow up on Strava, you know, you see Robert Gessing, for example, probably does only 2 hard days a week, you know, with actual intervals. The others are very much open plan. I'm a big fan of that, because that in a sense is a little bit polarized, but it's about finding that balance and then the progression. So this week I'm looking at a 3-day block at the end of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is probably my hardest day of the early week, and then Wednesday, Thursday are going to be more, I hope to do 2.5 hour rides at just endurance pace. If I do head outside, maybe a couple of sprints, because they're easy to do outside for me. But yeah, you build that, and you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with, you know, especially if you don't have a coach, there's absolutely nothing wrong with following the 3 weeks on, 1 week off. You know, that stood the test of time, I can say. And in my experience, I still somewhat follow that. If you look at my Strava, I had an easy week last week, but I had 4 weeks of building. Yeah, I agree with that. Especially if it works for you, because I had an endurance day yesterday. It was only 2.5 hours, but it's still a 2,000 kilojoule day. And even though you recover from it, you've still got to replace the calories. You know, you're still causing damage. But you know, I was still fatigued coming into the session this morning, and then obviously coming into this race. So it's definitely, for a lot of people, easier to do your intervals on your first day back. For me, it's not. Well, that's just me. I've tried. I've got amples of data stored from the last 6 years that says I can produce close to my best ever 20-minute power 9 days into a stage race with over 1,000 TSS in the legs, you know, in 7 days. You know, I've done that, not just once, a couple of times. So I know actually I can perform intervals far better when I'm fatigued. So it's that's just something for people to think about. But for you and for a lot of people, yeah. I've actually found out with somebody else I coach right now, who's actually jumped into some street. I think he was racing the race that we just did. Tom Shaw. He was really tired last Thursday, and obviously it's not always down to his workload on the bike. It can be down to his workload off the bike. Ironically, he's a doctor. Well, he works in healthcare, so he's very busy at the minute, but he's still working at home because of the actual work he's been doing at the minute. So for him, it's quite stressful, and he may not be sleeping very well, and he's rushing about, so his eating may not be right, and it all plays a part. And so he'd been building for a long time. His CTL is around 105, his fatigue is about 125, so he's built for a fairly long time, but he just loves riding. And what you'll find is with people who love riding lots and lots, who have a high CTL like that, they really can sometimes not know when enough is enough. And it's not a bad thing, but it's nice when you have somebody on the outside to look at it and go, actually, there's no problem at all with you having 2 days off. And the funny thing is, we had a day off planned for him on the Friday, and he was really fatigued on the Thursday, and he was doing a session, and he was progressively getting worse. On the Wednesday he felt rough, on the Thursday he felt like it was like the worst workout ever. He got through it, but he just felt really bad. So I said, look, Friday's a rest day anyway, so let's take Friday off. And I said, let's have Saturday off as well. Like, I actually put it there and said, no Saturday, no ride Saturday. So he came back on Sunday, he did, I think it was 2 20-minute blocks of tempo, or upper zone 3, with spikes like every 5 minutes, or surges, perfect for climbing. And he absolutely crushed it. He felt amazing. Yeah, it was amazing how like his freshness went through the roof in just 2 days. And you know, he was able to mentally get back in, and it was great to see that. It is hard to force yourself to rest, you're right. And it's even better when you have somebody like now, you know, just to say, there's absolutely no problem with resting. Resting, like, I used to like really cripple myself because I never used to rest as well. Because I used to watch, like, back in the days when I was with Rafa Kondo, so this is like, you know, 6-7 years ago, I used to watch the old heads, Christian House, James McCallum, you know, Graham Briggs, even Russ Downey, you know, they'd all ride on the days off. And they'd ride like, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours. But you look at them and you think like, you know, I need to do that. But is that what's best for you? And given, like, when I look back at it now, given their years of experience, they know what's right for them. They've been doing it for so long. And I was just joining in. And like subtly it was fatiguing me because I wasn't having that mental break from pedaling. I was just having the physical break of not doing hard intervals, but I was still riding the bike. And eventually I just said, you know what, I'm just going to complete days off. So when I was taking those, they were hard to get used to, but eventually they were really enjoyable. Like, I was actually not riding the bike for those days, and I was recovering a lot better. And then when I went to started like getting coaching myself, but 3 years ago, I found that I could now take 2 days off more frequently during the year and get away with not having like a month off the bike at the end of the year. And what that would do would like basically supercharge my motivation and also like give me ample rest. And it didn't just have to be 2 days, it could be 3 days. Like, I wouldn't rush it, and then when I come back in, you know, on that 4th day and I start training again, I'm like, oh, this feels like my legs are really supple, and like do a couple of sprints, and like I'd be so strong. Obviously, like, it take a couple of days for me to get back into the routine and the rhythm of riding, you know, threshold, you know, heart rate be a little bit elevated, but really, it just gave me so much benefit. Yeah, my legs don't tolerate it. Like you say, like, if you're too fresh, sometimes it's best to like give yourself an endurance day, or like a day of just opening up before you go into the intervals. Because as you say, what happens, what I find, and I don't know whether it's the right term, but it's what I call it, you hit like an artificial ceiling, and it's really frustrating. So if you come into training fresh and you do a load of intervals, and you know, you try to do I don't know, say if I was trying to do this morning's intervals, which was 2.5 minutes of 7 watts per kilo, 2.5 minutes rest, you know, 5 times or 4 times, my heart rate, because I'm still a little bit tired, would gradually rise, and with about a minute to go it would hit the 170s. Well, for me 170s is quite hard, can't sustain it very long, and my breathing gets really ragged, but it's because it's a max effort, and like I'm able to just about hold on to the effort purely because of the heart rate. Like, my legs are fine, They're clear and acid, they're absolutely fine. But it's the ceiling you hit with your heart rate, and your lungs, your breathing. It's that artificial ceiling, I call it, where you know you can do more, but you're just too fresh. It is nearly there, 1.4k. Another 10 TSS and I think that'll be it. What's for lunch? Yeah, I don't mind that, I'm telling.
Crackers, of course. The bread's going to be frozen when I bought the other day because it's outdated and small.
Use the crackers.
Use the crackers.
Yeah. Do you want me to help? Yeah, well, that's awesome. But yeah, that's another proof there, isn't it? More proof, rather. Like, I've seen this weekend now, like I've got there's 3 stage race. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I guarantee I'll do like the second stage, which will be on the Alp on Saturday. I'll do a really good effort up there, and then Sunday I'll do the same, but it'll feel completely different. I bet Sundays will be better. I tell you now, Quentin, it doesn't matter how well read up you are. If you're the best coach in the world, it doesn't matter. You're always learning. It's the same with everything really, but you're always learning how an athlete responds, how I respond as well to workload. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you soon, yeah. I'll see you soon. Alright, see you soon everyone.
when Yeah, you can.